Hi, it's Colin Cowherd. I started The Volume to bring you some of the most authentic voices in sports. While you're here, make sure you hit subscribe. Thanks.
I'll tell you this funny story. Not many people know this, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for telling you this. We actually hired Kobe Bryant
at Turner, but he didn't want to do all the other bullshit. This is one of the, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this, but this is one of the like little things that we keep in the college. So he actually signed with us, but then when we started telling him, like, you know, I have to do a bunch of radio shows. Like, hey, I go on this show on Monday. So, hey, from Thursday night TNT, same thing on Tuesday, same thing on Wednesday, same thing on Thursday. He's like, yeah, I don't want to do all that stuff. He says, well, you have to promote the show, Kobe. So Kobe actually is so funny. And like I say, it's probably only 10 people in the world know that he actually signed with us. He's like, nah, I'm not doing all that other bullshit. And he just like, nah. But it was funny because, like I say, we always have something to do.
Today, Greg Jennings on my show said, Larry Fitzgerald told me. They rolled out the red carpet too early and his personality changed. And this is essentially what you reported a year ago. So congrats to you. And now let's segue to this. I did not like what Eric Burkhart did. I understand he's an agent. I thought it was clunky and transparent. What do you think Arizona does?
Well, it's interesting. First of all, I can report, because I am at the Combine and I'm seeing lots of people, I can report to you that nobody has called the Cardinals in the, more than 24 hours since that all-cap statement landed. Nobody has even poked around and said, hey, would you guys trade him? And I was shocked. I said, I would call if I were another team. There's a lot of teams that he'd be a big upgrade, right? Nobody has even poked around. Now, I'm 99.9% sure that those calls would be met by, we're not trading him, don't even bother. But I'm surprised that the overtures haven't been made.
I love Job. I've loved him since his rookie season. I didn't pay attention to him at Murray State. I'm not gonna act like I'm some college aficionado. You know what I mean? So
you probably watched the tournament games. Though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's when I got hip to him. I was like, this motherfucker can jump out the gym. Goddamn. But yeah, I think this season he's the best point guard in the league. I tweeted that out, and going back to what you said about how we always, in NBA discussions, we always, make players, bump heads. Everyone was a lot of people were pushing back with Luka, for that. And Luka had a bumpy start for the top of this season. So that's why I said Ja's been the best point guard this season, because he's been, balling from fucking, opening night, till now. But yeah, it's I was kind of on the whole, we're going to get some Luka versus Ja MVP battles in a few years. And it seems like people are already kind of picking up on the Luka versus Ja thing. That seems to be a pretty big discussion right now.
You know what's really funny? You remind me a lot of Dennis Rodman. Like, I want to play with you. You'd be annoying as fuck to play against. Like, I saw Dennis at the 75 thing, and we hugged each other like brothers. He's somebody I really like a lot and respect. You're the same way. It would be annoying to play against you because, number one, I don't think you've ever committed a foul. and that's, hey, listen, that makes me laugh every time.
LeBron fans can be crazy because he's my favorite player. Literally, I'm into this sport because of him. I was not raised on basketball. LeBron got me into basketball. He will always be my favorite player. I've loved watching him throughout his entire career. I also, as a competitor and as a fan of the game of basketball, I'm going to hold him to a certain standard. Not just within that, but because he's in the conversation for being the best basketball player to ever play the game. That comes with a standard and an expectation that I'm going to hold him to. But at the same time, I have to separate what I'm criticizing him for his effort from the obvious physical limitation that he's dealing with.
Let's start with Kyler Murray, who had his agent, Eric Burkhart, release a statement that, was just way too long. And I've said it for a while, I'm out on Kyler Murray. I've been out on Kyler Murray. This does not change any of that. This just validates what I already thought. This is the reason I'm out on him. Drama queen.
Yeah, I mean, the whole home and away thing doesn't really apply in this game, which kind of makes it tough. You know, obviously travel plays a big role in teams, and road records and home records are obviously very important when you're handicapping these games. I can't back the Lakers right now. I just can't. I can't get behind a team whose point guard, who's facilitating the offense, is the most inconsistent person right now in the league. I mean, you've got moments from Russell Westbrook where you're like, there he is. And then you've got moments where you're just like, what in the world is happening? And I said this a few shows back, there's only so much LeBron James can do on his own. And that's the reality. And with an injured AD, this Lakers team, I just can't put my money on him.
A story, you know, I don't exactly know where it started. Maybe Florio. I saw it on the internet streets that Aaron Rodgers potentially wants $50 million a year. And let me state this very, very clearly. He's well worth $50 million a year. So would Tom Brady. So would Patrick Mahomes. So would the Josh Allen that we saw this year. No problem paying Aaron Rodgers $50 million a year.
You and Shaq go at each other more than anybody I know. Do y'all ever get to the point of where you like, man, that was too much? Like, do y'all ever get to the point where y'all really pissed at each? Because I know y'all are best of friends, but do y'all ever get to the point to where you like, yo, that was too much, or that really pissed you off, or you really pissed him off?
I hope I piss him off. Because, you know, because Dre, what he really don't understand is he's always been the best player and the biggest, baddest dude.
Absolutely.
And what me and Kenny try to explain to him, and you probably can explain also, like, dude, we ain't more talented than everybody we play against. There's a strategy. There's a strategy. There's some techniques and things like that are really important. But he's never had to worry about that, Drake. He's always been the biggest, most athletic guy in the world.
Yeah.
And he gets so mad when we try to talk basketball. I says, and me and Kenny argue with him all the time. He like, why don't they just get the ball to the big man, let him dominate? He's like, check, nobody's like you and Wilt Chamberlain. There's a strategy. Like me and Kenny and Dre, we have to have a strategy every night, especially against whoever you're playing against. And he refuses to listen to that. So then he goes, right, well, you didn't win the championship. I said, you're right. That still don't mean you don't, we're talking basketball strategy. And I know every time I call him out on the strategy, he gets so pissed, and I love it.
I said to Joy, I said, I'm Dan Gilbert, I'm that GM. When LeBron came out and said, hey, I haven't closed the door on Cleveland. And I said, who said it was open? I do not believe, and their ratings, Chris, are the second highest locally in the league. This city loves these young players. Like, if LeBron's camp call said, I'll come back, I'm like, how many times can you get burned? I don't believe they'd make a move. Like, I think the door's closed. I think Cleveland, next to the Warriors, they are the most watched local basketball team professionally in America. I don't think they take LeBron's calls. Again, I sound like a loon, but what do you make of it?
If they didn't, they are crazy. Unequivocally crazy. You know, this is that, like, this. So I experienced this, right? Living in Boston, I cover a lot of the Celtics games. What was it? The 18 playoffs when they had that magical run. Gordon Hayward goes down in his first year, 17 playoffs, I think it was. Gordon Hayward goes down. They rattle off 18 wins in a row, whatever it was after the injury. Kyrie Irving goes down, and Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, teenagers, early 20-somethings, push the Cavaliers, to 7 games in the conference finals. And everybody's like, wow, this young team is great. It's going to be great for a long time. That was the honeymoon year.